Joined by head coach Bill O'Brien for the game day preview leading up to the Indiana game. Coach, you've turned the page from Nebraska. What was the message to the team on Monday?
Again, we need to move on to Indiana. It was a tough game against Nebraska, but it's time to move on to Indiana. We've got a tough Indiana team coming in here, and all our focus is on them.
You've played 6 games in the Big Ten. Now, what are your overall impressions so far of the schemes, the talent in the conference? You've seen just about everybody. What do you think?
Well, I can tell you that I'm tired of hearing about the so-called experts say that the Big Ten is down. I mean, week to week, whether it's really good defensive schemes, defensive players, or great offensive players, running quarterbacks, guys that can run and throw, very dangerous offensive players. So, you know, I think it's a league with great coaches, and I think right now it's kind of media driven when they say that the Big Ten's down. We'll have to see, again, like I've said all year, how these Big Ten teams do in bowl games, and that'll be the proof in the pudding, what happens on the field.
Switching gears a little bit, you like to use your tight ends. What's the value in having multiple tight ends on the field at a time? 2, 3, 4. What's the value in that? X's and O's wise.
Sure. Well, the number one value is you have a run-pass threat on the field, so the defense can't really lock in and say, well, they're definitely going to do this or they're definitely going to do that. So I think the other thing that really works to our favor is they're all big. They're all 6'5 plus. They're strong guys. They're in great condition, and so they're matchup problems for guys that aren't as big as them. You know, linebackers, safeties, and some instances corners. You know, we get them matched up on corners. So we do try to play a little bit of a matchup game, and our guys seem to enjoy it, and they've done well with it.
Yeah, talk about the way that the group has played this year overall. Are you pleased with the way the tight ends have played and how much they've grown?
Sure, I think they've. It's not an easy position to learn, so they've learned every week. They've improved every week. I can point to each one of those guys and show where they've really become better players. It's the second hardest offensive position to learn to the quarterback position because you're involved in so many things. The run game, obviously, protections, routes, all red area, third down. So I think all those guys have done a nice job for us this year.
Looking at Indiana's offense, talk about their tempo and some of the things they like to do.
Well, they want to run between 90 and 100 plays a game, so it's going to be very difficult for our defense to control and be, stay up with that tempo. Now, we run that type of tempo in practice. But I don't think it's ever quite as fast as what Indiana does on game day. They run a very fast tempo. So we're going to have to keep it simple for our guys, let them get out there and get lined up and play fast, and I think they'll be up to the challenge.
On the defensive side of the ball, talk about Indiana's scheme and some things they like to do.
Well, they have 2 really good inside defensive tackles, so that's a big challenge for Stank and our 2 guards, Ersch and Diffenbach and Mangiero and Howell that'll be in there too. So that's a big challenge for those guys. And then you know, I think they have a very sound defense, a good blitz scheme, field pressure, corner pressure. So we're going to have to be really alert and ready for those types of things.
It's second to last week of the season. Only a few practices left. What have the seniors been like?
Well, they've meant a lot to this program and to this university. They've come back again yesterday on Monday and raring to go. Had a really good practice, and we owe a lot to those guys. You know, they stayed committed. They helped keep this team together. These guys will go on, whether they continue to play football in the pros or they go on to different occupations in the business world or grad school or whatever it is. They're going to be big time successes in life, and that's really, at the end of the day, that's what Penn State's all about.
Keys to the game against Indiana.
Control the tempo on defense. You know, we've got to make sure we are alert and that we understand that they're going to try to play fast, and we have to make plays in space. We have to tackle well in space. Offensively, we've got to be able to run the football. We've got to control the ball as much as we can to keep it out of the offense's hands and do a good job with our run and play action game. And then special teams, you know, obviously we're going to try to do the best we can to get an edge in special teams. Indiana does some good things, and we're going to have to play really well on special teams.
Before I let you go, I want to talk about special teams a little bit. Difficult conditions out at Nebraska. Was that one of the best games that those 2 guys have played, Alex and Sam?
No question. Those guys have come a long way. You know, very proud of Alex and Sam. You know, they've struggled at times during the year, but boy, they came up big for us in the Nebraska game. It's a shame that we didn't win the game, but it wasn't because of Alex and Sam, that's for sure.
Coach, best of luck Saturday.
Thanks, Tony.